So Bitcoin is busy melting down. Ray's got his bull hat on, and this shit is happening live. So I've asked Ray to just tell us if we're going to get a scalp long here while I'm talking. So he's watching for us. This candle is bleeding down. So we're going to deal with that shortly, especially for the scalpers there. Now, a little bit of a disappointment here from 𝗬𝗢𝗚𝗏 yesterday, and things are starting to fall over on both fronts, the S&P and BTC. Now, is there more pain to come? I'm going to show you some interesting things here today that could indicate that BTC might want to visit a little bit lower here. Maybe we're talking 60K, maybe we're pushing a little bit lower down. Then I've got updates on altcoins for you guys. I've got some potential entries coming now, and I've got some potential entries on things like 𝗬𝗢𝗜𝗡𝗏 and 𝗡𝗏𝗡 that could be on their way pretty soon. So lots to talk about here today, guys. We're bearish, but we're bullish, and let's get on with this. And remember, if you're enjoying the current flush out, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell, and do all these things. Ray, just keep us posted there with what's going on. He's got his focus goggles on here, so I think we're going to be okay. I need some glasses. Can somebody please take this burn away from me? Look at the situation. Bonk is 11% down, looking like pain. XRP, I got absolutely rinsed on XRP yesterday, guys. I'm going to tell you about that now. I'm going to show you the setup. But XRP, they came for me yesterday, and they ended me, properly. Render, 11% down. I think we're going to get a bounce quite shortly on Render. Rune also feeling the pain here, 13%. But basically, wherever you look, there's pain, there's deep burn, and it's hurting. It's hurting right now. So hang in there, watch the show, look at these levels here, and let's get us through this current dump. Here we are. So here's BTC on the 4 hour that I'm tracking currently, and we've just lost one of our big levels. Now, we saw earlier today there were some signs in the market. We had altcoins losing their 50-day moving average in the last 12 hours or so. They lost their 50-day MA. Dad with 3 says his undies are rinsed. Bro, I'm on my 3rd pair of undies just this afternoon. Never mind what I had to go through earlier today. So you're not alone there. And you can see we've now lost the 50-day moving average. This is relatively bearish here if we get a close under the 50-day moving average for BTC. Now, what am I looking at here? There's potentially an opportunity coming for a little scalp play. Now, this would be a short-term little move, something similar to what we saw earlier today. And the areas I'm watching now on this current move is this level here, 62,300. Looking for a little wick into the zone, then maybe a little potential scalpy there for some good BTC traders. Oh, I see we got a move here already. I'm looking for a little bit lower here. I want to see the 62,400 get pinged here, Ray. Okay, keep us posted here. This is the 4 hour. I do have the 15 minutes here also looking primed here. So we're going to keep watching this. So 62,400, what I'm watching closely here. Then 61,000 on the button here. This is the 200-day MA. So we'd love to see a little wick into this zone. That could be a nice little mover for us there for the downside. And then the big one here, 59,727. Now, I don't necessarily want to see that today, but if we do get some kind of flush in the market, I would expect 59,700 to get pinged relatively quickly there. So that could be an opportunity for you if we get a fast moving candle down to these areas. So 3 big zones to watch. And things of interest to me, we are potentially going to get a reversal relatively soon here. I'm just looking at this 4 hour RSI, and you can see typically when this guy dips into these types of levels, we tend to get a reversal in the market. So I think we are closer to a reversal than we think, but the size of the reversal, that remains to be seen. It could only be a couple of percent, for example, before they maybe send us a little bit lower down. I see Nathan's struggling there. He can't even buy undies. Guys, I got absolutely rinsed on XRP yesterday. I hit a couple of stops. We felt that burn together.
XRP is always the top of the market. We need to remember that. Every time XRP pumps, we know that the market is going to come down after.
Guys, never forget that. This is key information, and we've seen this time and time again. When XRP does really well and the rest of the market's not looking good, they come for us and they send us down. We should have known. And 𝗬𝗢𝗏 here is long, 50x. Okay, so things are looking spicy at the moment, but not all is lost. Okay, what are we doing now if we get a little bit of an upside move for BTC? Well, number one, you want to make sure you reclaim this 50-day MA. So if we get a close under the 50-day MA and this 382 region, it's not the best look for me. So we're most likely going to get some kind of rejection like that, and then potentially send this thing a little bit lower. Cosmo, why are you laughing at me, bro? This dust coin ended me. Exactly. Who buys XRP? Come on. It's ridiculous. And they ended me. So resistance for me to the upside, we're watching 63,230. We're watching 63,700. These are the areas you need to pay attention to. If we crack those and hold support on those that later, then we can maybe start turning a little bit more bullish. But right now, bearish things in play for BTC. 59,700 looks like an area that could be coming specifically on the 4 hours. Now, before we get into all these altcoins and things like that, let's just go through a couple of things that are screaming at us in the news. Like this. How's this? 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑𝗥 token drops 40% as the team's on-chain leveraged positions get liquidated. Okay, so the entire team leveraged their positions. Okay, come on.
Are they traders or builders?
Reverse bull. Okay. But I mean, left, right, and center, the boys are getting liquidated here. And I just took a quick peek at this 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑𝗥 chart. And now there's a couple of things at play here. Number one, if you are the 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑𝗥 team and you got absolutely wiped out, now these guys got rinsed, okay? Absolutely rinsed. Are you still motivated to run your project? That's question number one. Okay, so if you believe that these guys can pull their shit together and get it together, this could be a perfect entry here for 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑𝗥, for a spot buy here on the weekly. You can see this thing has already bounced quite a bit since I posted this on Twitter earlier today, but I can see we do have a little recovery bounce here in the meantime. So let's just see what they've done. And look, so far 36% bounce. Okay, so generally when you see stuff like this happen and you believe fundamentally the project's okay and the team behind it, you know, have good intentions, then generally you can buy these type of freak events or freak accidents. And you can see the market is responding well now to 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑𝗥. You can see they are sending this thing higher. So at the moment, that thing is recovering slightly, and you can see the target for this move will be round about this 94 region. So let's see if they can buy this thing back up. Then we're going to see the market maybe wake up to the reality that maybe this project's going to be sweating a little bit, and then we're going to get the real test. Then we're going to see really what the market thinks of this current situation. Okay, there you go. There's 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑𝗥. There's the news. And often, you know, you can buy FUD on a good project. You can buy FUD on a good team. You often get these nice little bounces on these things. Okay, the Coinbase letter. Let's talk about the Jerome Powell situation last night. So nothing really surprising. He gave everyone what they wanted, and the market, well, especially crypto, and we can see the S&P today also not really happy with the current situation. So they've left the rates unchanged, but you can read the comments here. But the main issue here for me is the September rate cut really guaranteed? Okay, that is now what the market wants to know about at the moment. So is this rate cut really guaranteed based on what he is saying here? Okay, and he used his words very carefully for those of you that were watching the stream, and he didn't want to say the wrong thing. He was very careful with how he mentioned things there. And Don Crypto Train saying he was pretty much as dovish as he could get. Okay, he's opened the door for a September cut, which will be pretty much solidified after this, unless we get some brutal CPI points. So that is what we're going to be watching next, and that is going to be the big one for us coming soon. So another interesting week of volatility coming. But here we go. Here's the S&P, and look at this. We closed the gap yesterday. Now, yesterday I was saying to you guys, a little bit of a concern for me that this S&P was pumping into this the FOMC, and I was telling you guys often when we get these green candles into these events, it's often a sign that maybe we could get some kind of reversal. And the S&P has now flipped over, and all they've done is come and close this gap that I showed you guys yesterday. We had a big gap over here, and we've pinged this 5550, and now we're on our way down. So I am currently sitting in a short on Prime XBT on this gap, on this ping, and the areas of interest for me now as to when the S&P turns back over or starts bouncing here, 5,450. You can see this is the 50-day moving average, and then a little bit lower down I've got my next bounce zone, 5,400. So we're going to look at that one as well. So 5,450 and 5,400, these are my potential bounce zones. Here are a couple of the shorts that I opened when we pinged that gap close there earlier, and we're just going to let this one push a little bit lower. So after the show, I'll be moving my stops to entry. We want this to be a risk-free situation. And we're going to see how that plays out. And then we've got Coinbase coming out with earnings tonight. And now this thing is starting to lose a trend. This thing is starting to look a little bit bearish here for me at the moment. So eyes on Coinbase. We got the earnings later. This is going to probably give us a guide as to what the market is thinking about crypto in general as well. We're going to see how these guys are going to respond. But right now, we've had a flat lead out here for a couple of days in a row. We've lost the 50-day moving average. We've lost the 100-day moving average. Not looking good here. And now we're losing this trend. So for me, the most realistic area of interest for me has got to be this 179 region for coin. So coin traders, look for something in this region. If we do get a push now after market, and tomorrow, if there's a little bit of a meltdown, we're going to look for something along those lines if you are looking for a banger. Now, remember, we got a banger on NVIDIA. And I think we can get a banger here on coin. So watching this 179 level, and there's a couple of things in the way. We've got the 200-day MA talking to us as well. So that's a nice little marker. And we've got the 618. So I would expect some kind of move anywhere in this region could be quite an interesting play for us on coin. So look out for that if there is a little bit of weakness. What's Alani telling us here? His wife will divorce me if alt season doesn't come. Guys, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of seeing alt season. Where's this alt season? I mean, we've been neck down since March. I think March was our alt season. We just didn't know we were in it. We were saying there's a more alt season coming, alt season turbo. And then they've just bled us out since March on these altcoins. But remember, at some point we get these reversals and we're going to get a couple of weeks in a row where there's going to be a lot of fun to be had. And we're going to forget very quickly all the pain. And I see Bruce is telling us next year, Bruce is turning into a bear here. And James says the wife's driving him to McDonald's later. James, do anything you can. Just make sure you have ammo for this alt season when it does eventually come. Titan of Crypto giving us some bull source. Okay, he's saying, guys, let's not be too bearish. Now, I'm going to look at my sentiment poll that is in the chat now. So just start answering that sentiment poll for me. And he's saying bullish monthly candle close. Okay, so things are looking good on the monthly, right? So not too bad here. And as long as we start holding his key levels, and what has he given us? He's given us 61,650. Okay, as an area of interest here to keep this candle above this region. Okay, so that is a good start. 61,650. That is what he's looking for. And if we look at the liquidation map, you can see if they send us to 61,650, they're going to take out this entire cluster. And this could happen quite quickly today, for example, and we could get that little flush out. So anywhere down to even 61K on the liquidation map does look interesting to me. Ray, just keep watching these candles. I want to see a nice sharp move down and then a nice little reaction there. So let's see. I'd love to see some kind of capitulation here. But 61K, that is interesting. That's the 200-day moving average. Now, wouldn't that be nice if we got a little retest on that 200-day MA? That could be something interesting there for us. And let's see what else we got. We got BTC on the daily. And again, we can't cry. Okay, we can't be bearish and until we start losing major areas. And right now, this is still good for me. Any moves into these type of regions here, for me, we can still remain bullish here in this current situation. So anything like that, for me, I'm happy. And we want to see, as long as we're printing that higher low there, we should be cooking. And let's see, Mr. 100 slayed the shorts. Now he's turning max bullish. Okay, we're gonna look at that now. Right, dominance. Interesting here, dominance rejecting off this 50 on the 4 hour. Okay, that's an interesting one for me. Let's see if dominance can start pushing lower now. This is what you want to see in times like this when Bitcoin's been bleeding out. You want to see this dominance start turning over now, telling you these alts are trying to hold their levels. So if we get a strong dominance push down here, then we should be okay with some of these alts on their current area. So we're going to watch this one closely. Let's see how this dominance plays out. But we want to see this dominance now pushing lower for us. To keep us in the game, especially on these altcoins. And then Carl Dupes just reminding us what's happened here with the ETH ETF situation. There was a net outflow of 77 million. Now, remember, this is standard practice. When the BTC ETF went live, there were outflows. There was downside for a very long time. It was 31 days before we broke those highs on BTC. And right now, this move is actually playing out in the market with ETH as well. So no real surprises. We did call this move, and we did say this is what we're going to be looking out. We're looking out for after the ETH ETF, and right now it is playing the game, so we can't really complain. Here's ETH pushing lower, and right now moving into a second bite of the support. Now, this is the first bite gave us a beautiful little reaction here of 3,100. Is the second round, is it going to let us give us a little bounce here? Are we going to get something along these lines? So right now, 3,100, we're watching that. It is support, okay? But now we've got resistance above us, the 200-day moving average. That's 3,200. So can we trust any bounce here? Okay, can we trust any bounce until we start reclaiming the 200-day moving average? We need to close above that to start turning slightly more bullish here on ETH. So look out. If we do get a bounce here off these levels, look out for this rejection on ETH at the 200-day MA. That's 3,200. And then most likely, if we reject there, we're probably going to be tracking lower. And I'm talking 2,800 again. It's going to be our next region of interest. So it doesn't sound pretty, but maybe that could mark the bottom there for ETH for us. So 2,800, let's watch that area closely, and let's see. You know, this could be playing out in the next couple of days if things start turning a little bit dirty there in the markets. I see Nathan's got some wrecked life going on here. Let's look at the sentiment check. What are you guys telling me here? Okay, we even. Okay, we all square. Okay, so we saw yesterday there was sort of overweighted bulls. And today, 54% are bearish, 46% bullish. So pretty even balance here. So we can't really call anything based on that information. And then XRP, fuck me, I got rinsed on this thing. Ray, why did you let me trade this thing? And here it goes. So XRP, what were they giving us yesterday? They gave us the daily. We got a little trend break. We had a trend break on the weekly, and things were looking beautiful. Now, right, we couldn't deal with the whole market falling over. These altcoins are obviously subject to BTC doing its thing and behaving. And if BTC's going to lose levels, as you know, these altcoins are going to follow, and they often get smashed with it. So here we are, XRP. Now it's tracking lower to a zone of interest. Now we've lost our first level, 592. And what we do know is we've got a big area lower down, 55. Now that is the 200-day MA. That is a 382 fib as well, and that is some big horizontals here on the daily. So we know this is a massive area for XRP traders, and God, I don't know if I'm going to have another go at this XRP, bro. I got my ass handed to me on this thing, and that would be the potential setup here for XRP. So look out. Mr. 100 says, Asia looking to pump my bags. Guys, I actually agree. Let's get the sell-off out of the way, okay? And these Asians are going to come in a bit later, and they should come and pump these bags. Let's get a nice little move down for some of these altcoins. I've got some entries coming. Gummy Banter says, I'm getting exhausted. This is a good sign. That means the bottom or reversal is around the corner. Now, you've got your first reversal area here on XRP. I'm loving this 0.552. Look out for a move into this zone. Bang, that is what I'm looking for here. And let's see, I'm using MDX. I'm using MDX algo indicators at the moment, and I've been playing around with a couple of things. I'm still getting familiar with this at the moment, but you can see we've got support here using their volume delta, and you can see we've got a lot of volume in that region there. Also, just above that 50-day MA. What else do we have here using this guy? We've got our trend master telling us we're still in an uptrend, so it's still liking that 200-day MA retest, so that's looking interesting. And then they've got this banger price GBT that they're playing around with. It's based on data from 5,000 candles, so it gives you a guesstimate on the last 5,000 candles on as to what they think the price will do. And sometimes you can just click on this one for confluence, but they're saying 50% chance of a push up here and a 30% chance of a move back to that 200-day MA. So that is looking interesting there for me at the moment. So XRP, that is the game plan. And yeah, absolutely rinsed out on that situation. But here I am now.
70K the top? We have a comment here saying 70K is the top.
It could be. It could be. Easy. Could be. Let's see. It remains to be seen. So here's my current situation. I'm now short AVAX. I grabbed that short on that pump yesterday, and I added to that one a little bit. So that is trickling down. And then I've got an RV long that I took. That was the setup I gave you guys yesterday. That RV move, anything down into 104, 105, that sort of region for me was a nice little area there. So I've jumped into that RV long. Let's see if that area is going to hold for us. And AVAX, I'm going to show you shortly where I'm going to close that short, because I think we're going to flip into a long pretty soon on AVAX if it's not here already. Okay. And remember, if you're trading on Bybit, it's as simple as this. Just trade on Bybit using my link in the description, and every time you trade on this thing, you enter the raffle to win a Cybertruck. So when the volume is high enough, you can see the trading volume is here. When the volume is high enough from all the traders, they're going to unlock the Cybertruck as the prize. And literally, it's going to be a raffle situation here, where as long as you're trading, you are earning tickets to this raffle, and you can win that Cybertruck. So have a look at Bybit. There is a link in the description there for you guys. And here is AVAX. So here's my game plan on AVAX. So sitting in the AVAX short, I'm looking to close this short imminently. Okay, I'm looking at a move into 24 here for AVAX. Why am I interested in closing the short here? Number one, I've got the regular RSI on the 8-hour. Look how deep this thing is going. Okay, the last time this 8-hour RSI pinged a level like that, we got a big push up in that region. Here's another scenario where we pinged that region. We got a big push up there, and here we are. We're pushing down on this 8-hour RSI. So what is telling me is it's imminently, okay, we're going to get some kind of bounce. So we just need to be patient here. Again, we can't say how high the bounce is going to be, but for me, a push into 24, I'm looking to close that short, and then I'm looking to flip long on AVAX. So 24.1 is the hot zone I'm watching here, and any move into the zone, we're looking for a little dip into that area. We might consolidate a bit, and then I'm looking for that push up. So number one, you can look at nibbling on these lows. You can buy a move into that area and play around. Then you can wait for that consolidation, and you can start tracking trend breaks on the 1 hour, trend breaks on the 15 minutes, and you can look for things like that. And then you can start adding to your positions. And the target is simple. I'm looking for 26. So if we do push that up, that's your first target, that 26 level we're going to be watching. And then after that, we've got MAs in the way, 50-day MA. We've got the 100-day MA. So there's big targets. We deal with that as we go. So right now we're going level by level, and the first target is going to be 26. So AVAX, we're nearly there, okay, almost there, and almost a move coming there for AVAX. And here's 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗘𝗥 at the moment, looking at this guy. So here was this the trade I gave you guys, actually 2 days in a row. We got this trade here for 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑, and it's pinged the original rejection area. Okay, so area number one has been pinged. What we want to see now as bulls, let this meltdown continue, okay? But at some point, the market's going to bounce. Hopefully, the market's going to bounce before AVAX loses this 104 region. That should be a nice little retest area there for you guys as well. So, sorry, not AVAX, 𝗬𝗢𝗣𝗑. So, 𝗬𝗢𝗑, we're watching 104. That is still your big support you want to see play out. And, perfect world, we get some kind of flag here, some kind of consolidation in this region, and then we pop off to our 131. So, that is what I'm looking there. And Glenn's got sore testicles. Glenn, I hope I hope you're doing okay there, Glenn. Everything's sore, guys. Everything's sore, especially with the embarrassment of trading the dust coin yesterday and getting rinsed on it. And there were guys in the chats actually telling me, they were saying, what are you doing? Why are you trading this dust coin? It's a bad sign. Okay, here's Maker, and I've taken a long on Maker, and I gave you guys this chart yesterday. So this was an area for me of great interest. Okay, the reason I liked the zone here on Maker was we had the 200-day MA, we had the 100-day MA, and we had the 382 in play here. So Maker right now, we had a bull flag, we broke out, we've retested, and this is now our support marker on Maker. So anything for me, Maker down to 2.6, down to 2.55, all these areas for me, they look okay here. Potential bounce coming here on Maker. So watching that one closely at the moment. Upside targets, well, we're going to keep this one simple. 2.9 is what you're looking at here on Maker as target number one. And then your next target, 3.1, is going to be your next area. But as you can see, there's big support here on Maker. Let's see what MDX Algo is telling us. He's priced GBT. Look at this thing. Bang. It's giving us a move up. And that is what we're looking for on that. Let's look where the volume is. You can see we're on a volume shelf here at the moment. And let's see what else we got. How's our trend master there? You can see that little green trend there. We are sitting above that green trend, and we are treating that as support currently. So there's a couple of areas of confluence here telling us this zone is pretty much okay as a support base here for us. So the market's really got to be shitting itself.
Can we get a base on the likes, guys? Please.
There you go.
We need to get a base on the likes.
Guys, there's how many? There's 1,070 here. If you like the content or you like the sell-off, okay, if you like the fact that I got rinsed on XRP, you can also you can hit the like button. I think I deserve that. Okay, here we go. So here's Maker. You can see I've opened a small position here on Maker. The market a little bit wobbly at the moment, and I've got a small injective position as well. I'm going to show you that one as well. Now, these are little scalper positions here because we are still unsure. We're still looking for potentially lower on BTC, and you don't want to bet the wife and the entire house on these type of things. We're not trying to catch the falling knife. We're just trying to work in good areas here at the moment. So right now, scalper positions here for me, nothing serious. We want to just see what the market is going to give us in this area before we make any big moves. And here is 𝗥𝗫𝗑. You can see what's going on. It's dipping into an area of interest for me. Now, this is the tightest stop you can actually get right now. If you're looking at this 𝗥𝗫𝗑 trade, your risk here is about 1.2%. Okay, that I'm playing with at the moment. So the reason I like this area, it was a 618. That was interesting to me. And we did have some horizontals. We know these altcoins like to respond on the 618. And, something else interesting, I've got the MDX Trend Master out here and just looking for this little move deeper into this lower band here. So we're nearly there. Okay, but you can see this little oscillator might want to just dip a little bit lower for us, and that could potentially signal that we need to go one more level down on 𝗥𝗫𝗑. So again, we're not betting the house on this one. It's a scalper situation, banking on some kind of BTC reversal here. If this thing does start falling over your next level for 𝗥𝗫𝗑, 19.2. Okay, so your risk right now is about 1.5%, nothing serious here. And again, you sniff around these areas. When you get consolidation, you can play the trend breaks, you can add to these positions. So be very cautious in these positions and risk 1% here. Next big zone for me, 19.2. So your next trade is probably going to tie in pretty nicely with that oscillator pushing down to these lows as well. And then you're going to just look for that bounce play, and you're going to look for the bounce play into your previous support, and that is that's going to be your resistance band that you're going to be watching. So that is the game plan there on that guy. And let's see what else we got here. Look at this. Okay, we got a whale in the house doing things with CRV. Now we know it's all about, at the moment, it's all about DeFi. These DeFi things are firing at the moment. Look at 𝗬𝗢𝗓. Look how that thing is doing so well at the moment. Here's another one. Archer says, my balls would be too sore. What? My balls would be sore too, but I already sold them to pay the rent, guys. Guys, it's deep and dark out there. It's deep and dark out there. Okay, so CRV, we've got a whale. What does the whale know? Okay, he's the guy's withdrawn 5.5 million CRV from Binance. Then he withdrew another 18 million CRV from Binance. Okay, if you're taking it off the exchange, you don't have an intention of selling it, right? You want to hold this stuff, stake it, or whatever they're going to do with it. And the signs are there that things are happening here with CRV. So we've had a little trend break at the moment. So that is a bullish start for us. We've got the 50-day MA rejection. No surprises there. You guys have seen this one a million times. And right now, CRV is pulling back. So we're looking for a potential retest buy. So what I want to do here is just look at a couple of areas of interest. Look at this volume shelf we got sitting here at the 618. So that is a big area for me. We got a 618 and a point of control here sticking out. So 0.2655. We're going to watch this area. 0.2655 looks like a hot zone for me. And what else do we got here? We've got our trend. You can see we have broken above our bearish trend, and that we are using as potential support. So we're going to watch that one. And what does Price GBT tell us? Bang. Okay, Price GBT tells us, based on the previous 5,000 candles, they're expecting a 53% chance of this type of bounce from this type of area. And then the odds are 29% and 18% for these lower levels. So that is the current game plan there on CRV. But 0.2655 could be an interesting one here, okay? Especially if this whale is now securing these things. He's taking them off the exchanges. Maybe it's time to start looking at CRV again. So watch that level, 0.265. That is a hot zone there for me. That 618, that is big support there. As you can see, okay, you got the whole story. Now, I've got a couple of other things. And remember, I've got 2 tokens here that you guys left in the chats for me yesterday. So yesterday I said, please drop the tokens you want in the comments after the show, and I can then chart them. So 2 of the ones I grabbed was Render and Brett. So I'm going to give you some work on Render and Brett now shortly. And remember, if you want anything charted, drop the comments after the show. Ray and I will look at it and each day, and we'll try and incorporate some of the tokens that you want here specifically, and then we can bring them into the show for you. And here's WIF. Now, this thing is looking like a reversal to me, okay? This thing is looking like we're getting a reversal pretty soon. And I'm loving 1.8. So I've highlighted this 1.8 for you again. And look at what's going on. Look at this oscillator here. This thing is deep and dark at these lows here. The last time this oscillator hit these type of levels here, we got quite a big push up here on WIF. So I'm looking for something similar. We had the similar move on that oscillator there, big push up there. And right now, if we get a move into 1.8, for me, that's a buy for WIF. So I'm looking at 1.8 here, and we've also got the regular 786 play. We've got horizontals in play here for us as well. So that is looking like a good zone for me on WIF. So eyes on that. 1.8 is where it's at for me. Let this thing do what it needs to do. Even if it pushes higher here, we're looking for that type of rejection there. I think we're going to get WIF at 1.8 when the time is right. So alarms on, be patient here. If BTC goes lower, most likely we're going to get that thing pretty quickly then at around about 1.8. So I'm watching that one closely. Put your alarms on there for you, and let's see how we go. Okay, the first request from you guys from the comments yesterday, render. And finally, bleeding out again. Now, this thing is puzzling to me, okay? Fundamentally, render is power. Okay, they got partnerships going on here with Apple, Nvidia's all over them. When Nvidia's pumping, render's pumping. Massive AI narrative here. So fundamentally, for me, render is absolute power. It's my go-to AI token in the market, especially when things are popping off. And for me, you know, this just looks like, or it screams opportunity here for me on render. So unless there's something fundamentally changed on render, I cannot see why this is not a good value buy at these types of levels. So I've bought a bit of render in this zone, and these are my horizontals. This is the zone you want to be watching. Anything down to this 5 level, 5.1, 5. Anywhere in this area is an excellent DCA zone. Okay, so obviously the token might go lower. Things could potentially go lower, but you know, if we get a bounce here, a strong bounce out of the market, you can't be, you can't be wrong for saying 5 was a great DCA zone, especially if you were DCAing up here, and especially if you were DCAing up there after the last AI pump at 9.8. Okay, so remember, if you were prepared to buy render up here at these highs, you better be prepared to buy it around about 5. It looks like a better value deal for me down here. And now look at the stochastics RSI. This daily is nearly reset for us on render. That could indicate that we got a potential reversal. The 12-hour nearly reset as well. 8-hour reset, 4-hour reset. You know the drill, okay? These things eventually start turning up and they move higher, and we get those types of bounces. So for me, is there a trade coming on render? Yes, I believe there's going to be a bounce play coming on render sooner rather than later. And the first area I'm going to be sniffing around here is going to be around 5 for render. So watching this zone closely, this is area number 1. And remember, you don't want to ape into the zone, okay? But you want to sniff around here. Once we get momentum, you can always add to these positions. It's very simple game plan here. You sniff in these hot zones after these bleed outs, then you get momentum, then you get some kind of consolidation. I'll show you what that looks like. So you're typically going to get a move into a zone like this. Okay, then you're going to typically get that bounce, and then you might just consolidate a little bit and then pop. And you're going to look for that trend to start playing out for you there for when you're going to start adding to your position. So render, watching this 5 region very closely here. Naturally, protect yourself with a stop loss, especially if you are trading leverage. If you're trading spot, great DCA zone for me. And look, if you get it lower, if you get a 3.8, even better, your average entry is going down. So yeah, Bruce wants your render. He says, please sell me more render there. How's everyone here in the chat? Melville McKee says no bounce in sight. And let's see, what else we got? What else? We got Revan is asking for Rune. Mackie Bob says the bull market is over. Guys, I think the alt bull market was over in March, I believe. Okay, this thing has just constantly gone down, and this is a perfect example for us. And especially if you've been trading these altcoins, I mean, never mind these gaming tokens. We actually need to look at some of these gaming tokens again. But if you look at the move here from March, okay, what happened here? We've just been net down here on these altcoins, and it's, I mean, this is a good example of all of these alts net down. You know, a small little 60% little move down, little shift down. But for me, render's a buy. We know, okay, bull market conditions, alt season conditions. Look at these moves that render can give you. Okay, don't sleep on render. Okay, if you get it at 5, it's a vibe. Okay, it's a proper vibe. Yaza says, where's support on render? Okay, hopefully I've given it to you. 5 is the number, and let's see. George says actual RNDR got delisted today. Render is not available yet. Guys, this is a sign, okay? This is a gift, okay? Get stuck in here at 5, a little bit lower. That is what you want to be doing. That is what you want to be looking at. Okay, next one, here's Brett. So this was in the comments as well from you guys yesterday. So thanks for leaving your tokens in the comments. And here's Brett. So first level, number 1. So what is interesting about Brett? Well, we're in a clear downtrend at the moment. So number 1, we've got a very steep downtrend on Brett. You can see this guy is pushing down fast. It's pushing down hard. Remember the rule with these altcoins: when the market recovers, they are the best performers. Pepe, Brett, Bonk, Whiff, all of these guys. But remember, if you're holding the hot potato and you're holding the bag and the market falls over, these ones are going to burn the most generally. Okay, so watch out.
BTC reacting again from the zone with the bullish divergence. Small time frame, but it's basing and it reacted again.
Okay, let's just look at our 15
minutes. That's just the play-by-play.
So what I'm looking for here is I'm just looking for this little fake out here, like a little quick pop. And when we get that, I think that could be a little trigger for us. And then that should tie into this region I'm watching here, the 62,400. I'd love to see that move there. Guys, if it does push up from here, just look out this resistance here, 63,200. Watch out there for the rejection. A little bit higher, 63,700. Just look out there in those areas. Let's get back to Brett. Where are we? Okay, there we are. So Brett is on a zone. Okay, Brett is on a horizontal support. Let's see what other tools we have. So let's see what MDX Algo is telling us. Price GBT. Looking for a little wick lower and then a little pump into that trend. Volume delta, let's see. We've got a little bit of volume here below us. Okay, so we've got a long way to go up. A little bit of volume there for us. And let's see what our trend master is saying. So the current sell move here is getting a little bit tired. You can see this little W here. It's printed a plus sign. Look, last time it printed that W plus, it took a while, but then it hit that TP before they sent that one higher. So Brett, potentially something happening here, but I'd say higher conviction for me, we're looking at 0.106. So higher conviction 0.106, but there is a potential bounce here in this typical horizontal area. You can see it's also sitting in that cloud at the moment, so that could be something you can play around with. But not looking good. Steep downtrend, this one. Just look for some action in the zone. Just be careful in that area. Big conviction 0.106. That is where I'd be looking a little bit deeper. And then Pepe. I'm loving this. Okay, I think we're going to get our entry a little bit lower down, and that's why I'm just waiting for this BTC to just push us one more time a little bit lower. Multiple zeros 964. So I've rejigged this whole thing here. I just wanted to make sure I had proper confluence here. So what I've done is I've pulled my fib from these absolute lows here on the 4 hour to the highs. You'll see on a weekly chart, for example, that's one move. It's from the low to the high. And we're looking for confluence here with fib. We're looking for confluence here with horizontals, and something as simple as this oscillator here at the bottom. You can see this thing is nearly at a reversal point, and that might tell us that we're going to get this reversal on the 618 fib. So waiting patiently here. Just be patient on Pepe. We can always catch it later if it runs without us. Multiple zeros 964. So just looking for this little push into that zone, maybe a little fake out, and then we're looking for a move higher. So multiple zeros 964, and then the bounce. We're not going to get too excited. Okay, we've got resistance directly ahead of us, so it's going to be something like this. Okay, something along these lines. And, if we get an aggressive bounce, you're looking for about a 12% move. Make sure you jump out. Make sure you set your stops and you TP at these big resistance zones. You've got to watch these areas closely. And, until things start improving drastically with the altcoin market in general, we're taking profits as quickly as possible. You're hedging where you need to. And then the time will come when the time is right. Fahad is here in the house. He says Ponky is holding the 50-day. Nice. Okay, we can take a look at that. Guys, remember, just drop your tokens in the chats here after the show, and then I'll look at it for you. Just a little bit of news on Telegram. So you guys saw Telegram or Ton was one of the better performers the last couple of days here. And, this might be linked to that current situation. So just looking at this guy as well one more time, you can see it is still at resistance. So nothing to report yet on the Ton network. We really want to see this thing break this 100-day MA. You can see we've had 2 fake outs into this region. It's putting pressure. Okay, it's no doubt putting pressure on this region. I'm just zooming in for you. You can see we've had 2 goes at this 100-day MA. The next time, maybe we knock that door through, and then we are cooking here on Ton. So watch this one closely here. You want to clear 6.8. If we can hold 6.8 as support, then I think we're going to be good, and this thing can start riding. Rivan says, Long's getting wrecked. People that were waiting for those all-time high got doomed so bad. Guys, shit happens, okay? Just remember, hopefully you weren't the guy buying the Pico top, okay, of things like Render in March or wherever it was at the absolute top. Now is your opportunity. So remember, you want to be buying on these red days. You don't want to be buying when things are pumping, and that means you are behind the curve, okay? Things are running away with you. I've got Cass for you. Wenting Zoo says, what about Cass? Here it is. Okay, there's 𝗤𝗙𝗅𝗐, and here is Cass. So we are now going through a typical SR retest here. We just want to test this horizontal. So we've broken all-time high tick. That is great. And now we are finally getting our little pullback that we're looking for on Cass. This could be a beautiful little opportunity. Let's see what type of fibbage we have in this region as well. So we just want to pull our fibs from the low of the move to the high. We want to see where do we get some kind of confluence here. And at the moment, the big one has got to be the horizontal. So that's 0.195, somewhere in that region. And then a little bit lower down, I've got the 382 at 0.185. So that is also a zone of interest. I just want to add my 236. Remember, the 236 is the most bullish fib that you can get. And when things are super bullish, they do give you, generally, they give you some kind of move. And here it is. Look at that. It's teed up perfectly with this horizontal here. So we're looking for that ping in that sort of region there, 193, 195. That would be ideal for me. And remember, we've got back up here with this rising trend as well on cash. So all is looking good on cash, super bullish, and things are looking okay. 𝗏𝗏𝗣𝗏𝗏 says, I've gotten so wrecked on leverage this week. Bro, did you see me trade XRP yesterday? I got my ass handed to me. And, we're all in the same boat here at the moment. So it's just remember, guys, things change and things change super quickly. And Ray, come on, this was XRP. Come on. Okay, here's 𝗬𝗓𝗡. Possible entry coming here for you guys, 25.6. Did I cover this one, Ray? Why did I think? Oh, no, I covered AVAX. Here's 𝗬𝗓𝗡, 25.6, and we are heading there slowly. Now, I traded 𝗬𝗓𝗡. I first traded AVAX, got stopped at entry yesterday for the Bitfunded challenge, and then I traded 𝗬𝗓𝗡 yesterday and got stopped. I've been running super tight stops here for this challenge at the moment, so I'm waiting. I'm going to trade 𝗬𝗓𝗡 for the Bitfunded challenge next again, and I'm going to wait for 25.6. Okay, remember the Bitfunded challenge. Well, it's as simple as this. You send $49, you send $99. They give you a demo trading account, $5,000 or $10,000. Then you go and trade. Okay, stage 1, get 8%. Pass that stage, then they give you stage 2. You can see I passed stage 1, I got the 8%. Now I'm trying to get stage 2, and I got to get 5%. Now remember, I'm a little bit salty because I traded Rune and I made the 5%, but it didn't update me, so I had to redo it. And you just remember, guys, if you're doing this Bitfunded thing, make sure you click the proceed to trade button. What I didn't do, I just went to the exchange and I hit trade. I didn't click proceed to trade. Okay, so make sure you refresh your browser. Make sure you click the right buttons so the exchange is talking to the dashboard. That is the mistake I made, and it didn't register that Rune trade that you saw. It didn't register it for me. So unfortunately, I've been thrown back into trying to do stage 2 and running tight stops. So I'm going to be very picky with the types of trades I'm taking, and I'm going to be very patient here. So 𝗬𝗓𝗡 25.6 is where I'm going to have a go on Bitfunded for that next move. So 25.6, you can see it's a relatively bullish little zone here for me. It's a 618. It's got horizontals, and I'm watching this MDX trend oscillator here as well, and just looking for this thing to push lower. So it could easily just be something along these lines before we get that little move there. So waiting for that one to play out. Guys, if you're interested in this MDX the algo and the whole setup, there's a link in the description there for you. If you guys want to play around, take a look at it, and I'll be using it fairly regularly here. It's starting to make sense to me. I've been playing around with it and practicing a little bit with it, and I'm loving this thing, this little price GBT. This gives you, it can scare the shit out of you as well, but just use it as confluence with some of your ideas here. And you can see they use 5,000 candles history to try and predict where this thing can go. Yes, Ray, where are we on BTC? Let's see. Okay, you see, it's not a convincing bounce. I want to see a strong BTC bounce here. This is not a very convincing one just yet.
I'm in the long. Guys, my stop loss is the bottom of that candle.
Just be patient. I've had a couple of scalp longs on BTC the last couple of days, and they get going and then they reverse, okay, and they come back to entry. So it's been very frustrating waiting for a great little entry here. And look, I mean, we do have that 1 hour that has reset now, this 1 hour on the RSI. So watch this one here. This is interesting to me, okay? So the last time the 1 hour hit that region, look, we had a strong move. Okay, so that is interesting. Let's just see. Okay, let's see how that goes. You can see what's in your way here. 50-day MA is in your way. 100-day MA is in your way. It's clear, okay, what is going on. And there's Ray's in his long. Okay, so if you are in a BTC long, use these candle lows as your support. 62,640, 62,640. Use that okay, as your stop zone. And for me, just to clarify, I was looking for 62,400. I'd love to see a wick into that 62,400. So, they front ran that area a little bit. Let's see. I'm not going to dive into it now, but we'll deal with that later. Okay, guys, I see there's tons of comments coming through. Please drop your tokens in the chats for me in the comments. I'm going to grab a few of them tomorrow, and we'll look through them, just like I did with Render and Brett. We can do this every day. Okay, guys, that was fun. Be safe. Okay, potential bounce coming here. Just take it easy. You've got great entries. If there's more downside, you've got entries right now that you could potentially trade, and you know where your resistance is. So just take profit. Be safe out there. I'm back tomorrow.